Strap yourselves in for how stupid this is about to get.
I regret almost every tattoo I've got, for sure. These are all bad tattoos, man.
You can't be heavily tattooed without having a name tattooed on you, so obviously I had that as a dare.
My second tattoo was done by a man named Mad Dog in the back of a head shop on St. Mark's Place.
It's a rite of passage to get like a fucked up piercing in St. Mark's and then, you know, like drink on the steps of Search and Destroy before it had new owners and now it's super weird. Like, it's a thing. When the papaya dog was still on the corner, you get a little snack, you get a little piercing. If you feel like getting a tattoo, you get a really shitty tattoo. You know, it's fun. It's like a carnival from hell on a block. It's great.
I was like, "F it, do the other hand," and I got Mad Dog again. Little diamond right there, which you can't even tell what it is.
I got my first tattoo at 12 or 13, but it was like an Indian ink tattoo. I got it in the park.
And I thought about I'm good, you know, I was good. So like, Ale, give me your hand.
Scars and 2D blowouts. I thought about I lost my arm because it was so swelling. God, crazy times.
I was like, I'm gonna be the only guy in my town or the only kid in my town that's heavily tattooed, and I did that shit. I was heavily tattooed as like a child. It was really dumb. It was not good. I mean, clearly you see the proof of like, hey, maybe don't get tattooed when you're 14 or whatever.
You know, back then it wasn't, I didn't know how to like pick a sleeve or design. Today these artists can do immaculate Mona Lisa type styles of artwork on sleeves and back. Back then it was all about, I got $50, what can we get?
I was dating this person and like 2 months in, and I'll be honest with you, I know that this is not an even trade, but he's like, I'll get my nose pierced if you get my name tattooed on you. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So he got that and I got the name and I obviously regretted it. And then got it removed like 10 years later. And now where it was is covered anyway.
This girl, Marilyn, gave it to me. She was just she put the ink in the thing with the pin, whatever it was, just poked my hand hard as shit. And I walked around the corner. I was trying to go back to my mom's house. I threw up in the bushes. I was like super faint off it. I don't know, it hit like a nerve or something.
My mom set me up for a lot of So my mom, I got my first tongue piercing at this store around the corner. And then I was like, yo, I want to get a tattoo. So she was like, all right, you can go get it. Here, I know a guy. And this was actually in Queens. And she was like, oh yeah, this guy, he does tattoos. I was like, word, I could get one. I think I was 16. And I got a fucking Puerto Rican and Dominican flag that it has a shamrock in the middle and there was a line missing. And it says my government and it said the one and only on my shoulder, which is covered now. In the middle of the Dominican flag, there's a little sign. Like it's like a crest. And instead of the guy doing the crest, it looked like a shamrock.
Me and my friend Pearl started stick and poking each other with sewing needles on the back of a number 2 pencil and thread and India ink that we stole from Blick. And I had like fallen for my first girl ever and like she broke my heart. And I was like, you know what? Like I want to get a tattoo to symbolize this. And so my friend Pearl tattooed Girl Power, the abbreviation, the GRLPWR, on my pelvic bone. Yeah. And now it's blurred out and it says Girl Purr. So that's my first tattoo. No other tattoo has really been that painful, ever. It was so much. It was so much, and it's like the ink is like green now. And I was like, I should cover it up. But I was like, nah, that's a story.
So I got kitchen table tattoos, and some of them were gang tattoos. So I like full on, you know, sketchy gang tattoos. And I got them on my throat and stuff too. This is a cover also. So I had a parole officer, as one gets, and he was like, I was covering the gang tattoos, and he was like, you need to cover these with color. And I was like, what? And he's like, you're gonna put color into your neck and you're gonna put color on your arm because it's gonna help you be hireable, because I couldn't get a job. He was like, you've gotta get color. And then his whole thing was, we're gonna make you look like Travis Barker. And like, I was like, what? And I had this officer like literally I feel like living his tattoo fantasies through me and like making me get tattooed the way he thought I should get tattooed in order to be hireable and palatable to just people. And so I don't think I was a coward, but I was definitely just like, I gotta do what this guy says. I'm trying to get my life together. And so I did it. I got color tattoos to cover all my stuff, and I fucking hated them. Gang tattoos, weird biomechanical color cover-up forced on me by the police, and then the police blackout came after. So I have had 4 sleeves in my life. That's too many. So yeah.
I also lasered my private. I had a tattoo on the tip of my, and I also had some along the length of it. And the process for that, I can tell you, is probably one of the most ungodly. They didn't have the medical advances they have now. None of the cream, none of the Novocaine shots would work. And they also had another nurse there with a bowl because I kept throwing up. The pain was so bad, I kept throwing up into the bowl. And you know, you could smell your skin burning. You could hear your hair follicles popping. And just watching your skin burn, and I just kept throwing up. But it just goes to how important for me those things had to go. I didn't give a hell what I had to go through, just like when I chose to get sober. Whatever you told me to do, I'm gonna do it to stay sober. I had some stuff that had to go, and it was whatever I gotta go through. Let's just hold the bowl, I'll throw up, let's get it gone.
I have an unfinished Jesus hanging off the cross on my back. And it's so bad, my wife thought it was Elvis Presley. That's how bad it is. It was a pick and poke, and it was brutal, and I just couldn't take it. And I gave up on it really fast. No, but luckily, I'm fat and never take my shirt off anyways, so nobody ever sees it. But I'll never forget, I was walking to the bathroom one night, chest puffed out like I was peacocking, just having a great night with my wife, and she looks at me and goes, "Hey, turn around. Is that Elvis on your back?" No, Jesus. Though very close, it's Jesus.
I got this tattoo of a cross right here, and it had a banner with my real last name in it, Dimsdale, and another banner that said established 1992. Such a douchebag tattoo to get, bro. So, of course, at the time, I was like on the football field and stuff, cutting the shirt, like the sleeves off of my shirts and feeling like, oh, tatted up, you know what I mean? And it was, I mean, a couple years later, like, when I started actually getting tattooed, like, that's not a cool tattoo, dog. That is so lame ass tattoo to get.
My first tattoo is like this really terrible Satan stick and poke that I did myself, upside down and backwards in a mirror with a sewing needle. I laugh when I look at it because it brings me back to those memories of like being in my parents' house tattooing myself and being crazy, the worst kid ever, pretty much.
Here's my advice to people. Find a good artist. Start there. Find a good artist. That simple. And let that come up with a vision and do it all with that person.